For skills assessment number 2, you are going to choose one of the 4 language problems that we talked about in chapter 3, and you are going to create a presentation either through PowerPoint, Prezi, or some other kind of presentation software that will explain what your language problem is and provide an example, a real-world example of that language problem. The presentation needs to cover this information right here in the guidelines. You need to give your name, the context of the example, in other words, where did you find it? Was this a billboard? Was it a comic? Was it a church bulletin? Was it an advertisement? You know, what was the real world context of your example of that language problem? You do want to show us your language problem. So if it was a billboard, you want to take a picture of it and put it in your presentation. If it was a comic, you want to copy that image and put it in there. We want to actually see the example of your language problem. In the supporting slides, you want to explain what kind of language problem it is, and you can see that the 4 kinds are here, why it qualifies for that type, and why it's a language problem. How is it perhaps causing some problems, or what was it intended to do? Was it done intentionally or unintentionally? What might be the consequences of it? And then the last slide, you want to provide some information about how that language problem could have been avoided. In many cases, the language problem may have been intentional, but even so, how could it have been rewritten to avoid that language problem? Again, you may have a discussion of why it was intentionally used and why whoever created it might not want to fix that language problem. Your presentation, therefore, will be somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 slides. And you can see the rubric here, basically content for following the guidelines up here, and the writing mechanics and presentation elements that your visual is appealing and easy to read, easy to understand, and so forth. Now, you are going to choose your language problem, and to do that, we're going to go into week 5, and there is a link that says language problem choice. And what you're going to do is click the link and create a thread. In the subject, you are going to just simply write the language choice that you choose. You do not need to write anything at all in the text box. And then move the screen over here a little bit, and then you'll hit submit. When you do that, you'll see that your term is clearly visible and your name will be there. Now, I am requiring that we don't all end up choosing the same thing. So the requirement is that no more than 4 students can choose the same term. So if you go in to post your language choice and you already see that 4 people have chosen ambiguous, you will have to choose another term. And I will go in and check from time to time, and if I see that we have 5 students doing ambiguous, I will delete that 5th student, and that student will have to choose another term. So please review all of the posts before you create your thread, and make sure that you are choosing a term that you're allowed to do. Now, the project will not be due until week 6, and what you'll be doing is attaching your presentation in a discussion board post. But I'll give you more information about that next week. Meanwhile, you can be working on the presentation itself. And let me just go back to pull this up again. So Prezi.com, you can go into that one. PowerPoint, that is available on any campus computer. If you do not have that, you could also go to Google Slides, and they have a presentation software there that you have access to. In fact, let me just show you, let me move this over a little bit, that on the Welcome tab for my DTCC, if you go to Resources, well, you will see that you have access to Google Drive. And within Google Drive, you have the capability of using Google Slides. So that's another presentation software that you have. If you have any questions, certainly you can text me, call me, email me, and I can try to work with you to explain a little bit more. All right, that's all for today.